Hi, third graders. Welcome to your writing lesson, your first writing lesson this week. This week, we have the work of starting to turn our notes and the things that we've learned about Wilma Rudolph and Sonia Sotomayor into a piece of writing that has our opinion in it. Whenever you write a full piece of writing that shares your ideas about something, it's called an essay. So it's not a story. We're not telling a story about a character. We're not just teaching about somebody or something like you did with your animal reports. Instead, we're sharing our ideas. And so when you have a piece of writing where you're sharing your ideas, we call that an essay. So we are writing an opinion essay about who we would rather meet if we could meet either Sonia Sotomayor or Wilma Rudolph, and why we think that. So that's our opinion essay. So this is just step one of the opinion essay that I'm going to tell you about today. And in this step one, we're just going to figure out what our opinion is and what our reasons are for thinking that. So before I start showing you how to do that, you're going to need to gather a few things. So please pause the video and go ahead and get the articles about Wilma Rudolph and Sonia Sotomayor. You probably don't have them printed out. I don't have them printed out. But if you could go to the Schoology section in the opinion writing folder and just kind of have yourself ready there or know where that spot is so that you can get to the articles that are in that folder if you need to, that would be great. What you do need to actually have in front of you are your notes about Wilma Rudolph and Sonia Sotomayor and some paper and something to write with. So go ahead and pause the video, get those notes that you've taken about these two women, get a piece of paper and something to write with, and maybe just kind of know where the articles are and know how to get there in case you need to look at them, and then start the video again when you have those things. Okay, welcome back. So now I want to review the question that you're going to answer in this essay with you. The question is, if you could meet and spend some time talking with Wilma Rudolph or Sonia Sotomayor, who would you choose to meet and why? So now what I'm going to do is show you how we can come up with our answer to that question, how we can figure out what our opinion is about whether we'd rather meet Wilma Rudolph or Sonia Sotomayor. And it's going to start with the notes that we've taken. So I'm going to make my head a little bit bigger. I'm going to leave the PowerPoint. And I'm going to open up the notes that I took about Wilma Rudolph first, and just kind of remind myself of what I learned about her and the things that she did and the ways that I would describe her. So I'm remembering that Wilma Rudolph was sick as a kid, and even though the doctors said that she wouldn't walk again, she did. She played basketball and track. She went to the Olympics and won 3 gold medals. And then she didn't go to her own celebration after the Olympics because it was segregated. And I'm remembering that I described her as determined, hardworking, and athletic. And just a couple other notes. She had 21 brothers and sisters, and she became a teacher after she finished her running career. Okay, so that gets my mind remembering Wilma Rudolph. Now I'm going to go to my Sonia Sotomayor notes. Oh, I took a lot of notes about her. That already might be a sign to me that I want to choose Sonia Sotomayor because I know a little bit more about her. I was interested in her and took a lot of notes about her. Remembering she had diabetes, she had to give herself a shot every day. She decided as a kid that she wanted to be a judge. She did really well in school. She got a scholarship to Princeton. She became the first Latina Supreme Court Justice and the 3rd female Supreme Court Justice. It's pretty amazing. Wow, look at all these ways I described her. I described her as responsible, independent, determined, hardworking, fair, and brave. And I'm also remembering that her parents came from Puerto Rico to New York and didn't speak very much English. Her father passed away when she was only 9 years old, and she felt really alone when she went to college. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and really think about who would I rather meet. Make my head smaller again. It's such a hard choice. I'd love to meet both of them. And whatever you decide for this is fine. There's no right or wrong. That's why it's an opinion. I think, though, if I really could meet either one of them, I'd probably rather meet Sonia Sotomayor because I'd want to talk to her about what it was like to work so hard, even though her father had passed away and even though her mom was working crazy hours to put her through school. What was it like for her to work that hard? And I also really want to know about how she got through all the loneliness that she experienced when she was studying at Princeton. Like, what was that like and how did she get past it? And then I'd really like to know what it was like to be the first Latina Supreme Court justice and only the third woman. Like, that must have been kind of scary to not have many people like you doing those things and being recognized for it. And I want to know, like, how did she get over her fear and be so brave? So I think I'd rather meet Sonia Sotomayor. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video here and go over your notes. If you need to look at the articles, go ahead and do that. And decide if you had to choose to meet Wilma Rudolph or Sonia Sotomayor, who would you rather meet? And then when you're ready, when you've decided and you have some ideas about what your reasons might be, why you think that, go ahead and restart the video. Okay, so the last part of this video. On a piece of paper, write down who you would like to meet. And I said in a box, and I forgot to draw a box around my opinion here. So if you just write it and you don't put the box around it, that's okay. But write down who you would rather meet, Sonia Sotomayor or Wilma Rudolph. And then I'd like you to write 2 little bullet marks underneath it. A bullet, when you're writing, it's just a little circle to show that you're making a list. So each bullet shows one thing on the list. So write who you would want to meet. For example, I wrote, I would want to meet Sonia Sotomayor. And then for one bullet, write one of your reasons why you would want to meet the person you'd want to meet. And then for another bullet, write a second reason why you would want to meet who you would want to meet. I think it works best to choose these reasons from the part of your notes that show the words that you would use to describe that person. So I wrote down for my reasons, I'd want to meet Sonia Sotomayor because she is brave and because she is determined. And those came right from my notes. Under ways to describe Sonia Sotomayor, I thought about all these different words I used to describe her, and I thought, which of those words really show why I'd want to meet her the most? And I think brave people are amazing, and I think bravery is such a huge and kind of scary and important skill. So I'd want to meet her because she's brave. And then I think her determination, the fact that she never gave up and she kept on working, that's another reason I'd really want to meet her and talk to her. So I wrote down for my second reason, I'd want to meet her because she's determined. So after you write your one sentence about who you would rather meet, go to your ways to describe the person. Maybe it's Wilma Rudolph, maybe it's Sonia Sotomayor, and choose 2 of those words to describe her and write them in bullet points underneath your sentence, just like I did. Okay. The last part, you thought I was done, but I'm not. The last part is that I would like you to bring this paper with you to the class meeting on Tuesday, because I'm going to ask you all in the chat section to write down for me in the chat who you'd like to meet and what your reasons are, just so that I can check in with you and make sure that you're understanding how to do this step. Because if you don't, if this step is challenging or you're confused about this step, it's going to be very hard to write the rest of your essay. So I want to make sure that we've got it, and that if there's anybody who needs some help or needs just a little more talking about it with me, then I can help you with that. Okay, so after you do this piece of paper, hold on to it and bring it to the class meeting on Tuesday so that you're ready to share it with me. Okay, thank you so much. Good luck with your work. Let me know if you have any questions.